Hey guys, so I just wanted to quickly give you a tarot reading today, just for this week. So check out TonyBomboni.com to book your own tarot reading or other services from me. I also do Reiki, ASMR, coffee cup, and candle wax readings. You can use 10% off code if you're new using code TONY. 20% off code Tony too if you've booked my services before. Let's begin. So just a general message for this week for you watching. Anything you need to know this coming week. I feel like as a collective, I felt like it was right for me to do this quick reading. Just felt compelled as a collective. What should we know as humanity this coming week? I've had a lot of stable but mixed feelings. You know, you kind of feel like something's here. Something's coming, something's happening, something's going on. There's more to the story. That kind of a feeling. It's neither here nor there. It's not anxious. It's not nothing at all. It's just, you know, when you have that feeling. So let's see what this could be. Yes, a collective frustration. I feel like a lot of people are suffering right now. A collective financial suffering. World, yes. Maybe loss of creativity, loss of judgment. And this is also coming up in the coming week, through next week, Friday to next Friday. A lot of frustrations I'm seeing. You guys are in suffering. You guys are in mental, emotional pain. Some of you could even be physical. Your faith is being tested. There's a feeling of hesitation, of a tendency to avoid things, avoid people, avoid touchy subjects. Maybe you feel like you get triggered more easily this week. So be careful with conflicts and friends and family. Be careful. Try not to get under people's skin or get under their nerves, right? You may have some issues with friendships. So kind of you see how these people are in the distance here. You maybe hurt their feelings unintentionally. Could even be in your community. If you go to a church or something, be careful who you're interacting with, because it's very socially touching type of week, right? You may say something and unintentionally hurt someone's feelings, right? So be precautious of that. Also with ego issues, okay? Thinking you're better. Sometimes people tend to go through those transitions. Try to avoid these feelings of trapping yourself into how do I say? It's tricky because I'm not saying to avoid people. It's just avoid the conflict, but also don't at the same time just be by yourself and think that's going to help you get away with this, because something on this week will make you repeat that lesson at another time if you're not careful with how you choose to wisely spend your time. You know what I'm saying? It's don't just distance yourself from that friend who you're having conflict with just because it's the easiest route to go, right? You ignoring them will cause a deeper issue. It's like a health problem. You ignoring it will probably cause a deeper issue because you're ignoring it, right? You're neglecting to take care of your needs. So if it's social life aspect, it's what are you neglecting this week in your social life, right? How are you treating people? How are you treating others in your group, in your circle, in your clique, right? So basically going on ahead without escaping the issue. This is in reverse. This Two of Wands, it's finding that power within. Also the Wands here, finding that power within to maintain your power. But powerful peace, how do I describe it? It's standing into your own and taking a step back and letting people be themselves around you without facing conflicting issues. Okay, so this is a very be careful with friend issues this coming week. Okay, and not to approach them as a teacher or a parent, not to approach them in a stern, disciplinary way that could make you more off-putting to people. Maybe they think you're too uptight a little this week. Maybe you're too much perfectionist this week. Again, in general, with this general reading, be careful with those energies. How you approach people in general, even if they're not friends. Are you being too stern, too disciplined, too strict with yourself? Maybe you need to loosen up a bit and just enjoy life a little bit more. You know, this is kind of the time, like, if you're doing it this way, try it this way. If you're doing it this way, try it the other way, right? We all have different experiences at the end of the day. It's like, try something new this coming week, right? That maybe pushes you, makes you a little uncomfortable, gets you going, right? Also, issues with creativity. Yes, that's what I saw earlier. So basically, any projects maybe you need to push back a little bit on, maybe reschedule for another time, because right now it's like, how am I going to work on my, let's say, art project, for example, my creative writing, for example, when I'm too distracted focusing on the conflicts I have with my friends and family right now. How am I going to achieve this success when right now I'm in such conflict and turmoil that I can't get a clear head? And this in return, maybe like people even seeing you're too much focus on that, okay? Again, think of it the opposite. If you're too much focus on making money and getting your career going, maybe focus more on time with friends. If you're too much with the friends, they can start to get annoyed by you when they see you more and more every day. And it's like, every week, it's like, they're seeing you too much. Maybe it's time to take a step back and focus rather on your career, okay? So a lot of times I get these mixed messages because of the generalized readings. However, it's doing that to me because it's saying, like, if you're this way, do this way. If you're this way, do it this way. Like, switch it up. It's a very switch time for people, okay? And be kind to yourself, but at the same time, like, know your worth and value. If someone's treating you poorly, like, know where you draw the line. Also, but don't put people in their place or put them down too much. And don't just put that wall up forever, right? Maybe you only need that wall up for a week just to protect your heart. You're holding back because you're also very sensitive. Because it's a sensitive time for other people, you're very triggered and sensitive as well. So again, try to avoid conflicts here because it will only cause problems in the long run, right? You're going to have to face that issue again if you don't manage it the right way. So if you're too cruel, too mean to someone, it's just going to come back to you in some way, and you're going to have to repeat the history lesson again, okay? So be nice. And if you're too nice, maybe be a little stern. Again, think of the opposite of what you normally do. Maybe nice people are very uncomfortable with being maybe more stern with others. Try it. It's a good look on you, and you're going to gain more respect from friends as well when you have those healthy boundaries as well. And patience. Patience is required now more than ever during this time. You need to tell yourself, like, okay, like if you go eat fast food every week, maybe you could cut back, like it's tempting very much so, maybe to go grab the same coffee you do every day and the same sort of intake, maybe like slow it down. Same with friendships. You want to go talk to them every week on Saturday about your problems. Instead, why don't you go spend some time in nature, And I know a lot of what I'm saying is like hard to hear as well, but it's like, that's what you need to do in this coming week. It's like, you need to do what you don't want to do normally or what you don't normally do, and the opposite of what you normally do. So you can attract what you want all along, right? Like, you can't manifest what you desire sitting in the same situation time and time again. So yes, it is a very like straightforward reading, but it is a collective feeling and a collective sensation. I feel like as a collective, the reason why people are so triggered right now this week is because of they're being pushed to do something they're not comfortable with. Or if they're always around you, then it's like maybe they are starting to feel like they don't want to be around you anymore. So respect that, give them their space and their time. We're all human beings, and allow them to breathe, allow them to feel uncomfortable, allow them to feel like what they feel. Allow them to feel like they want a change, or, you know, friend can love you, lovey-dovey, all they want, but we all need our space at the end of the day. So again, if it's not a friend, whatever connects to you, like it's just more like how you feel. Maybe you're your own best friend, right? You're married to yourself, as they say. So how can you give yourself some space and privacy and time if you live with others? Or how can you show yourself that you can, instead of always working all the time, take care of yourself? Or if you maybe lounging around too much, how can you put more work into yourself, right? What don't you normally do? That's the collective message for you, okay? Also, dealing, yes, with emotions. Things may come up, memories, old emotional pains that you haven't dealt with, that you haven't healed yet. Those are the time to come up into the surface now. And again, very triggering time. Like the fact that those come up to the surface at all means that we're going to be very sensitive emotionally. If someone dares to approach us and say something even close to what we're going through, it will, like, oh my God, it's like, whoo, you know, when people go through a spiritual awakening, they get so sensitive. Oh my gosh. And you just have to respect that sensitivity, because it is a sensitive subject. When people don't want to deal with their heavy, dark, deep-rooted issues, emotions, you know? So you want to give people space and time to do that and to heal that. Like, friends are not necessarily there to do that for you. Okay? So sometimes you just need to go through it solo, and just experience what you experience. Get your privacy. It's very like privacy. I'm seeing privacy, space, like someone alone, maybe in nature, like to themselves. It's more of a to yourself type of week. Like, don't just hang around people just because it's comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Or like you're comfortable doing that and you want to avoid how you feel. You can only go so long doing that. It ends up a disaster and you end up even worse off than before. So it's like, this is a time of like, if you even dare to try to do that, you're only going to deal with conflict, because now you're facing someone while you're conflicted inside and they're conflicted inside. You put those two together, they're like a repelling magnet. It just doesn't work. So at least for just this week, like I said, have patience, okay? Have understanding that we are going through this as a collective, and that there's a lot you haven't let go and they haven't let go, okay? I have a feeling maybe like your best friend or something is not letting go of something, maybe something you said to them or they said to you one time that they're still feeling angry about, have unforgiveness in their heart. That needs to be healed right now emotionally, okay? Because I do see for sure the Five of Wands is definitely my like conflict card. Oh boy, like you don't want to, like if you don't pass the test this week, I'm trying to say, it's going to continue some other week, right? So just keep that in mind. It's a very testing time, specifically this week alone, okay? No other week. Just if you can get through this week, keeping these things in the back of your head, I feel like as a collective, we will be just fine, okay? But don't obsess over this information. I always say entertainment purposes only. Yes. It will work your way if you make it work your way, like without forcing it. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to understand this is going to do you, it's going to suck, but this is going to do you good long term. If you don't get through this and pass this life exam, it's like pushing back a test in school. It's only going to get worse and make your grade fail, right? Like even worse, epic fail. Like if you don't study for one quiz, you're going to do horrible in that test, right? Like you need to understand all the information, meaning understand yourself, you through other people as well. And that what this life is about, really, like people forget. We get so distracted by, drinking and smoking and doing all this fun stuff people want to do just to feel good in the moment. And then bam, a problem comes up and they don't know how to handle the situation emotionally. So, you know, not saying that like those things are not valid or whatever. If you choose to do all those things and just live in the moment and exist, okay, that's your experience. But why are we here? You sometimes have to question that. Like, why is my relationship with my friend not improving? Maybe there's something here. Maybe we're not meant to be friends. Why is my life stuck? The same day, the same thing, the same situation. What am I needing to shift, to do differently, and to change? So it's a time of questioning yourself. Not questioning so much other people, because they're all going through the same thing in a different way, okay? And you have to respect that, and you have to realize, like, why should I bring up an argument with them when I have to have compassion for them instead that they're in suffering as well, right? And people forget that. Like, the reason we distract ourselves in our mind is because this whole world is in, like, suffering right now. You know, it's like life in general is suffering. It's like, how can we respect that without judging other people for that experience? How can we just get along with others and realize that we're all feeling the same pain? And not being mean back to them just because they were to us. Just say, okay, they're obviously in pain. Hurt people. Right? It means nothing to you. It's nothing personal to you. Stop taking things personally. You know, just say, in this moment, your feelings are valid. I accept how you feel. I'm going to walk away and take a step back. I'm going to work on myself and figure out why I'm feeling this way as well. Why I need to even walk away from you, right? Sometimes that's healthy. But be careful those arguments and conflicts with people. Social conflicts is a huge thing this coming week. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I know it's like, ouch. But I tell it like it is. I don't just sugarcoat things. TonyBomboni.com to book your own reading from me. Thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed. Bye-bye now.